Hello, welcome to Spirit of Cricket with Ratan, and we'll be talking about course cricket and international tours today. And we have got some fantastic guests today with us to talk about their journey, their experience with the course cricket, and of course, our one of the topic is international tours because these people are really working hard on the background and arranging so many competitions abroad with the young people to give them the inspiration and motivation to play cricket in the highest level. So, without further ado, I just going to introduce with my guest one by one. So introducing my first guest today, which is Ashish Baluja. He's the founder of CricFitSports, and he's a guy who would really work hard and make sure that course got the absolute opportunity. Ashish, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ratan, for the introduction.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashish. And we'll be talking about CricFitSports and your initiative and the course development as well. So we going back to the next guest. I have got my guest with me today is from Netherlands, junior performance coordinator, Netherlands Cricket Board. Subir, welcome to the show. Subir is here with me. Hi, Subir. Subir, your speaker is muted.
Yes.
So
sorry there.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here. Yeah.
Thank you, Subir. So we are really excited to see you here today because until now we've been talking all about the test playing nation. So today we'll be talking about a non-test playing nation, and you will be key to talk about your development plan and what you are doing. So yeah, really great to have you on with us. We have got another personnel who is really great personnel. I know him for a long time. He's working tirelessly in Dubai. Junior, he's the ICC Global Cricket Academy Sports Academy direct manager, and this is no other than Qasim. So Qasim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ratan. A lot of titles there you've just introduced me to, but yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
Brilliant. You know that the things that we can, a lot of people are following ICC Academy, and we'll talk about a lot because there are a lot of things people need to know, and there are a lot of people wanting to go there. All right. So I think there'll be a lot of good insight from yourself today here. And also we got our guest today from Singapore, which is Kunal Kant. Kunal, you are the founder of your academy that you set it up in Singapore. So
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
United World Sports Management, and I know that you do a lot of tour to India, UK, Australia,
Yes,
and
correct.
of course you run a great cricket program. So that we'll talk about your program, and again, there are a lot of people can learn about things, and they can get in touch with you about things. So we will be now, as I said, that we will be talking about one after one because we got a number of guests here, and then we will be talking various cricket initiative that you all are taking part of your role. And if I can go back straight to Dubai and asking Qasim, you just tell about ICC Global Cricket Academy and what you do there and what sort of opportunity for the young people that you have.
Well, we've got the largest cricket academy in Dubai. We house lots of different cricket initiatives. We've got obviously a commercial academy here, which houses over 500 students, ranging from 3-year-olds all the way up to 43-year-olds. Part of our recreational warriors program, which is the Adib Warriors program. We also have an emerging player program and a scholarship program. As part of our facilities, we also house the UAE national team, both men and women. We have a coach education program, and we have a corporate side as well, which takes care of the corporate bookings. We have a fantastic facility which has 2 international ovals. We have over 40 different lanes. We've got an indoor facility. We house gyms. We've got lots of different resources to actually cater for everyone's cricketing needs out in Dubai. And we've got the weather, which is the most important thing. So There's lots of drive to make sure our academy is always striving for the best service, always providing the best cricket resources, and actually churning out individuals to represent the national team. So that's what our objective is. That's what our mission is. And, you know, we're at the forefront of that here in Dubai. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, because weather is one thing that you have mentioned, that that you are lucky to have the dry weather throughout the year, and that throughout the year people can come and play cricket there. So it is a very good advantage. I'll come back to Ashish now. Ashish, you are coordinating various things, and that you are part of CricFitSports and founder, and you have the passion to develop junior cricket and make sure that everybody has a great opportunity, not only here but organizing tours and the inviting international tours and fixtures.
Yeah, thank you, Ratan. Yeah, it's relatively new. So CricFitSport actually is a concept that started in 2018. Once end of July, literally the Colts cricket starts to wind up as everybody starts going on holiday. But the weather is still very nice. And having said that, there is a fair bit of enthusiastic children, young players, along with their parents, equally enthusiastic to help them support in cricket. We felt like there's an opportunity there to actually keep them engaged, and that's how CricFitSport is essentially kind of started, and the development of the kids is one of the core intent or motive of having this. This is purely started as voluntary. It still runs in a very similar manner. We have kids from various age groups, starting from under 10s going to under 16s. The idea for them is to develop cricket, obviously, because that's the core, build on fitness, and most importantly, build personalities. They get the opportunity to play some good competitive representative cricket, along with support of my friends and colleagues who are actually on the show, who actually, when they tour, they give them the opportunity to actually have that cultural exchange as well. So it's overall it's something that I've really enjoyed being a part of. The social element is also humongous. As I always call this is not an academy; it is a family, which is always with the positive mode.
We'll come back and talk more about it. I'll come back to Kunal now in Singapore, and you have set up your academy, and you're arranging tours, and talk through a little bit about your program.
Yeah, so the whole idea came in 2016 when we started this United World Sports Management. So the focus was to give the best possible cricket to juniors as well as to seniors. So it's not only just academy. We started to organize a lot more than training program, like tournaments. So we personally organize tournament for the boys under 10, under 12, under 14, and under 16. And then we started to take them on international tours to favorite destinations like UK, and we partnered with CricFitSports as well, and we had other partners around the world as well. And then we same thing we did for seniors as well. Like we started to organize in-house tournaments for senior teams in Singapore, as well as we started to take them on international cricket tours to UK, Australia, South Africa. So we have done so many tours for senior teams as well. So the whole idea was to bring everyone together at one platform and unite them through sports.
Yeah, so brilliant. We'll talk more about it. Now I come back to Subir in Netherlands. And Subir, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we always bring mainly the international, test playing nations and talk about them. Now, for the first time, I think, though I have started recently, for the first time, you are in the show, a non-test playing nation. So talk through about your program, the Netherlands Cricket, briefly in the course development.
Yeah, sure. It's a small country. Cricket is not big in Holland. In the Netherlands, we have about 1,000 odd junior players playing at club level. And out of those 1,000 odd players, we try to make the selection every year, somewhere around after the summer, so that we can run our winter indoor programs as much as possible and bring the best boys and girls together and then have a certain program. The weather is similar as how it's in UK. So the summer months are very short, where we can have cricket outside. So we try to maximize as much as possible the summer months. Certainly when the school holiday starts in the summer, we try to tour outside of Netherlands. So basically most of the time we are in UK with our junior players there. Furthermore, the older ones do go somewhere down south as much as possible, because especially the under 18s, if they have a World Cup qualifier happening, then we try to use the facilities in the winter months somewhere down south. For example, La Manga would be a good option, but also touring India. We have done that in a couple of times as well, or to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, all right. What we're going to do, I'm going to come back to Qasim here, and before I come back, I have a video which about the ICC Academy in Dubai. We'll just play that video and we'll come back straight after. All right.
My name is Qasim Ali. I'm head of cricket development. I've been at the ICC Academy coming up to 3 years. The journey for any young cricketer to be the best they possibly can is in 3 stages for me. We have the basic beginners stage, where they actually introduce themselves into the game, get equipped with the technique and understand the process of the game, but generally have a lot of fun. The second phase for me is to master the skills and really put themselves under pressure in match situations and also practice, which is mainly from 13 upwards. The last one for me is a performance and competition, where they've got to really challenge themselves across all cricketers within UAE, and that often happens from 17 or 18 upwards. We've got a great link to the UAE national team in making sure your development aligns up with the national objectives of trying to produce great cricketers for UAE.
So brilliant. This is about UAE cricket, and if I can bring back Qasim on the screen here. Qasim, talk through about the challenges you are having recently due to the COVID-19, and what is the implications?
I think like anywhere in the world, there's lots of challenges. We've all got common challenges as sporting lovers, cricket lovers. We want to get back on the field as quickly as possible. For me in particular, out in Dubai, we're actually coming up to the end of our season for our cricket season, because obviously now the summer months are starting here, whereas people in the UK, this is prime time for people to start playing cricket. And obviously set the leagues up. And so for me, obviously the parents over here, we're looking to finish off our term. The challenges have been like anywhere else, both physically and mentally. Obviously the guys who are staying in, following the rules. This is a good opportunity for anybody. I mean, I see the opportunity in this to self-reflect and gain some opportunities to learn some new skills. We've actually, as an academy, we've done some online learning courses. We've done some exercise videos for our students. We've kept in touch with our students as much as possible, with our parents, because at the end of the day, they're the key relationships that we have. I think the key thing here is, as a head coach and head of cricket development, I think it's my responsibility to make sure that we have a consistent communication process with our warriors and our parents. And most importantly, we just keep that interaction going to ensure that the cricket will come back slowly. But we have to follow the guidelines. I mean, the government guidelines here have been, slowly starting to get back to 100%. And I think as of tomorrow, workplaces can go back as 100%. The malls are starting to open. The beaches are starting to open. So from a cricketing point of view, we've just started to get access now to the facilities. Obviously, there's still some restrictions, which we have to all adhere to and make sure that we are practicing safe distancing, the safe rules that are around, to ensure that we get the interaction with our young cricketers. So I think everybody's facing the same challenges.
If I may ask you, that the government guideline you are following, is it UAE Cricket Board is coming up with the cricket-specific guideline like the other countries are coming up, or you're following the ICC guideline?
No, we have a government guideline first and foremost, and then that gets passed on to the sports authorities, the Dubai sports authorities, in conjunction with the Emirates Cricket Board, and that is then passed on to the academies. That's slightly different to obviously places like UK, where they have the ECB in conjunction with the government, and then obviously they pass the ECB restrictions and guidelines down to the local recreation clubs. So we have to follow what the government say, and the government, to be fair, have got a really good hold on it. As of now, we've only had sort of 250, 275 deaths as per the records. We've had 37,000 people who've actually been confirmed in their cases, have been tested. Now 37,000, there's actually 37,000 deaths in UK. So the numbers are very, very, very different for us guys here.
Yeah, definitely. And every death is a tragic. And that as you can rightly mention that that UK, we just passed 40,000, which is really, really hard. And I come back to Ashish, because the UK is one of the country is the hardest hit, and in terms of the infection, in front of the death, if you compare with the population and etc. And to talk before that, I'll go back and play a video about CricFitSport, a short one, and then I'll come back and discuss about it. All right, let's go on. So some of the pictures that we have seen, and I know that CricFitSport is run by a couple of volunteers, and within short time we have done really, really well, and congratulations for that. Ashish, just talk through about the challenges as I was talking with Qasim regarding this period. The UK is the hardest hit. That we are from South Asian background, and what are the challenges you are facing with your other parents and the kids?
Yeah, thanks, Ratan. Firstly, appreciate your valuable feedback about how you've been seeing CricFitSport. CricFitSport has been very much engaged within the community, and we've been, I would be very honest in saying, hardly, very much. It's been quite hard for us in terms of the impact that that has actually been seen. It's something that we train 8-9 months to play 3 months of cricket, as games, and unfortunately, this is happening at this sort of a time which is prime for being able to actually reflect what you've trained to actually see it getting implemented during the game time. So, um, cut short, it has been tough. It has been tough for all 3 months. The kids have been sitting at home. From where they were very, very active, very, very busy, even playing indoor cricket and training indoors. All of a sudden, the sun starts arriving, and so does COVID. Unfortunately, we cannot go outside. Um, there are ways. Obviously, everybody has kept up their chin up to a great degree. I think everybody's been very patient. There were a lot of so-called, what I would say, keeping busy cricket-related activities that we've been doing online, including Zoom sessions, including some challenges, specifically with our partners, Capital Kids Cricket, also with UWSM. We've actually had a few um, within. Within the partner group have like those virtual competitions kind of going on that keeps everybody still challenged, still busy. But having said that, I'm not going to deny it's been very, very tough. It is tough even now. Things have started to look up a little better. Unfortunately, not the weather, because it's actually raining today, and when you start getting open out to start doing outdoor training, which has been allowed by the government and within the ECB guidelines, the weather
Yeah.
starts turning around now for us. That has
Yeah,
been the
it's like it's looked like absolutely the May weather we've been witnessing for last many decades. I think Qasim, you would be agreeing that that every time during the May there is a weather is damp and the rain, and this year it was a brilliant May we just passed, and that and there was no cricket. It's very unfortunate that I will come back about the weather and the season after some time. So let's go back to Kunal, so that we'll just go and find out his video, and we'll play that video, and then we will come back and talk about his challenges he's facing during this lockdown. I'm just stopping that video for the time being. I'm probably there is a technical error. I cannot hear any sound. Did you hear any sound, or was it playing all right?
Yes, it was. I can hear the sound. Yeah.
All right, it was going all right. All right, let me play it on again. Sorry. All right. I hope that everybody could hear that. And initially, I could hear, but after that, it was all right. So, Kunal, if I can get back to you, Singapore is one of the country who really did well during this outbreak. And recently, there was some infection was rising, and again, it was under control. So, what were the challenges you had over there?
So actually, Singapore never had full lockdown. So there was some partial lockdown which actually started end of March. But we have been facing the challenges since early February. So when this virus came out, and we heard the news from China, and then when there were some few cases only that time in Singapore, so our attendance started to drop during the training session, and we found it very difficult to convince to the parents and the players to come to the training session, and when we slowly progressed to early March, the attendance dropped almost 50% during the training session, and we even started some competition for the our junior teams. We started under 10, under 13 and under 15 competition, and each age group we had only one game, and we have to call off the tournament in between due to government guidelines by end of March, and still we have partial lockdown in our country in Singapore, but we never had a full lockdown. But sports activities have been stopped fully since March end, and we also had a lot of bad impact on our other plannings, like we supposed to conduct some international cricket camp in partnership with CricFitSport in Singapore. We supposed to invite some renowned coach in Singapore here during Easter Easter holiday camp, and it was at the planning stage in the month of February, and unfortunately, without even announcing it, we had to call it off. And we supposed to participate in 2 international tours in June and July in UK for age group under 13 and under 16, and both we had to call it off. So both locally and globally, we had faced a lot of challenges, and a lot of work was done in terms of planning. And also, as Ashish mentioned earlier, like even though in these challenging times we are trying to keep the spirit up of cricket, and we have been giving our students some home-based video drills to do at home, and we participated in some online competition of international drill competition organized by Capital Kids Cricket UK. And we also combined the team. It was fantastic the way Ashish managed it. We kind of about 15 kids from UK and 15 kids from Singapore, about team of 30 kids participated in the virtual competition, which ran for 2 weeks and conducted by Capital Kids Cricket. But of course, to be very frank, we can give the drills to the students and everything. And I also feel this is the important time for the students to work on all these kind of individual drills at home. But of course, up to certain limit, at the end of the day, they need to go to the ground and play real cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come back with the discussion about the tour and the challenges and everybody you had, and particularly what impact it had with the children, because they are missing out. So we'll talk about that. Now I'll come back to Subir and talk about Netherlands cricket and the similar challenges what he is facing. So I'm just going to play a video that again I have, and hopefully it will play it well, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Just hold on. Brilliant video. Subir, if you can talk through about the challenges you facing at the moment, and what are the activities you have done during this lockdown?
Sure. Yes. We were busy in our winter period. Actually, it was almost at the end of our winter period. We were having our performance indoor trainings as well. At the same time, there were quite a lot of indoor tournaments happening at that moment as well. So it was a pity that the whole pandemic started at that moment. So that right away we couldn't do anything. We couldn't finish our indoor season. For 2 months we were all inside actually with the lockdown. What from our side, because it was challenging enough to motivate the kids to do something at home, we decided also to use our national players. You saw it in video as well. The national players actually thought about certain drills, what kids could do at home. So we used them as a mean actually to motivate our kids to do some drills. Could be a fitness one, but could be a cricketing skills. What could they do at home as well? But on the other hand, luckily to say that it's a bit different than at what's happening at the UK at the moment. We were already, beginning of May, we were already allowed to go outside and use our facility and train. So on a short notice from our government, most of our clubs reacted very quickly to set out the protocols set out by the government actually. So we made it as cricket specific as possible, so that all the clubs knew what they need to do to make sure that the facilities are open and all the protocols set out by the government is actually is in the right order, so that we can use the facility to train. So at the moment, juniors as well as seniors are allowed to train at their clubs. They're also playing some friendly matches within the club. Unfortunately, the tournaments or the competition is not on. We're not allowed to play any competition up until the 1st of September. So it's all the planning what we had for the whole summer is gone actually. And so non-competitive cricket is the only option we have at the moment. So we're trying to think forward on how to utilize definitely July and August when the summer holidays are on. We're thinking about various programs, probably outdoor training week, what we can organize, but definitely the tours, teams coming over in Holland and trying to play competitive matches, it's all gone at the moment.
Yeah, so if I may ask you that your government is allowed, of course, the training, yeah. And you say that they allowed some sort of friendly games, not competitive games. Is it right?
Yes. So what the clubs are thinking at the moment, they have 3, 4, 5 teams at their club. So what they are actually doing is making a fun matches during the weekend. So they have 2, 3 grounds. All the teams that they have at the club, they play some friendly matches as much as possible.
All right, so that it can be 11-a-side again,
yes.
Maintaining the social distance.
Yes, so the 1.5 meter, that's how we've set in Holland. So 1.5 meter right. You have to have, but up until 18 years old, the 1.5 meter distance doesn't count, so they can come close to each other. So above 18, so adults need to take those distance.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it. I wanted to come back to Qasim in this point. So Qasim, are you allowed to play outdoor at the moment in Dubai? Qasim, can you hear me? Hello, Qasim, can you hear me?
He's not hearing you.
Hello, Qasim, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Qasim, can you hear me? I'll come back to Qasim. We'll try and communicate with Qasim by text and see either he can hear us, because when he was saying hello, I could hear, but he couldn't hear. So I will come back to Qasim after that. But I'll come back to Kunal in this point. You know that Subir was talking about, you know, they are allowed to have friendly sort of games. What happening in Singapore in this regard?
So, as I mentioned, there's no cricket at all since March end. 26th March was the last game happened in Singapore. After that, there is nothing. And there was what they call this partial lockdown was circuit breaker in Singapore. So during that time, there is no game, and they have lifted this partial lockdown on 2nd of June. But they are opening the country in phases. So in first, we are in currently phase one of our country opening, but no sports allowed at all. All the sports facilities are closed, including the community facilities, exercise center, gyms, parks. Everything has been closed so far. So we are hoping to have something going on in phase two, which could be in 2 to 3 weeks time, where there will be sports activities allowed, but definitely in small groups. So what we feel is currently they are going to open slowly and steadily and safely. I think they are going to allow a maximum gathering of 5 people, and which will be applicable to sports activities as well. So I don't think for us it's straightforward for cricket. So maximum gathering of 5 people in phase two, only if the community cases will be lower in next 2 3 weeks time, then only certain guidelines will come up from government. Then we can conduct small group coaching, and then maybe hopefully after a few weeks, if everything goes well, then maybe we have some a big group coaching and some friendly games, intra club friendly games before we go to external games or competitions.
Yeah, I'll come back about this now. Of course, the UK government has recently announced 6 people can do the training. And Ashish, if you can just tell few thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ratan. So it's been a couple of weeks actually. We had one-to-one coaching sessions being allowed to be done within obviously the government guidelines and then following ECB guidelines. There are restrictions within the one-to-ones as well that we do. So there's a lot of record keeping that we have to do, given the government has introduced a track and trace system. So in case if someone gets the infection, we have an ability to track and trace anyone who might be actually in contact. So there's a lot of documentation which is kind of happening on the back end of it. There's obviously a lot of sanitization that actually happens every time once a net is finished, which is an hour session. We will then break it down for the cleaning to be done before we commence the next session itself. So that's been going on for a couple of weeks very successfully. Obviously, as expected, a lot of our young players are enthusiastic and they're trying to come back and actually having more than one session in a week, just purely because they want to actually get back out. There's been a recent guideline now from ECB on the back of the government guidelines. Now we can have 6 individuals coming together and play within social distancing. What that really means for coach cricket as such is we can have 5 plus 1 as a coach, given we still have to follow the safe hands policy. Now that it's something relatively new, which has just come out in the last couple of days. It takes again time for the clubs to absorb the information, to be able to then comply on the requirements which are actually required. Again, given that we still have to keep social distancing, we still can use only one net at a time. We cannot use the adjoining net. So number of young players that we can involve in one group session is 5. And if we've got 20, that means we need to do 4 different group sessions. But we've got only one net. That is actually allowable. So it is challenging. We'll have to come out with ways how we can do it, how much of outdoor we can do, how much of the ground we can use, and what part of grounds we do, and customize it. So other than having a general open session in the nets, that's not feasible at this point. So
right.
So things will evolve as we go along.
Yeah, I'll get back to Qasim now. Qasim, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you, Ratan.
Brilliant. Sorry, my question was with you because I was talking to Subir in Netherlands, because their government is allowing them to play friendly games. So how about Dubai?
At the moment, we're not allowed to play any recreational games. The government has not allowed any games at all. We're allowed to do practices indoors in small groups of 6, no more than, I mean, there's 8 in a group that are allowed, but no more than 6 in a net. We've got our own precautions that we have to follow, like everybody else. You know, heat checks, temperature checks on arrival, safe distancing in terms of registration, pre-booking before you get to the actual sessions. Obviously, coaches wearing masks, players wearing masks. You know, spreading ourselves across into a hall is not an issue. But the measures are in place to ensure that we slowly and gradually start to come back. I'm sure it's like that, you know, listening to the other presenters, you know, listening to these guys, it's very similar across the world. So slowly but surely, in Dubai, I think we started to lead the way of, you know, kids coming back and playing cricket. But at the moment, there's no recreation stuff. And to be fair, the academy, we've missed out on, like everybody else, we've missed out on a lot of international matches, a lot of international tournaments. There's a lot of counties that were coming here for pre-season, as you can expect. So there's been a big impact in that aspect. But hopefully, and there's a lot of kids that are itching to go to get back into cricket. But the biggest concern that we've got is actually the cricket at the moment is 12 plus, ages 12 and over up to 60 are allowed to take part in physical activity or cricket, sports, whatever it is. Under 12s, unfortunately, at the moment, or over 60s can't because of the risks that's involved. And as an academy like ours, we've got over 350 kids, you know, under the age of 12. So it does have a bit of an impact on us at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that we have to take safety. We have to make sure that we are safe, the children are safe, and then others are safe. But I'm feeling a bit jealous, you know, that Netherlands already starting friendly games, and where we cannot start in the friendly games. But there we go. Now the challenges we talked about, the challenges, you know, that, and motivation, and the people wanted to play a higher level cricket from the juniors. And I think that all of the people are today here as my guest, all of you trying to do something for the future generation. And if I come back to Qasim again to ask you, I think everybody talked about ICC, Global Cricket Academy, the Dubai Sports City, and you know, as you can see that throughout the year you can play. Either if it is the off season here, you can come. If it is off season in India, they can go. All right, it's a hub, and it's getting popular. So if I am as a youngster, let's say I'm a 14 or 15-year-old, I wanted to go and train in Dubai, what shall I do?
Well, I think the first thing is make that decision, let your parents pay for it. That's probably the first thing. But I mean, I think from a cricket perspective, the ICC Academy, you know, ranges from housing everybody, whether it's a recreational tour for a team, whether it's a performance camp for young cricketers, whether it's a finishing school for young county cricketers. International franchise tournaments are being held at the academy and at the stadium. So there's a lot of opportunity to actually take part in terms of cricket here. If you're a young player, got aspirations over the winter to continue your development because you're not getting it in England or anywhere else, you know, or even in the summer, there is opportunities to come to Dubai, be part of a recreational program, a performance program, an emerging player program, and, you know, come and develop your skills, take part in performance camps. I mean, we recently had players from America that came across and actually did a full performance camp before they went prepping up for an international tournament. We've had Australia turn over. They've been here prepping up, you know, in previous years before they went to India. So there's a lot of opportunities to, whether you're an international superstar or whether you're a young budding cricketer, to come to Dubai and actually develop your skills. We've got level 3 coaches, we've got S&C coaches, we've got the resources. There's facility on site. There's obviously hotels nearby. And Dubai is an excellent place to come and develop a little bit of cultural experience as well. You know, it's got some fantastic scenery, but, you know, it takes a little bit of planning. And I'd be happy to, you know, get involved in anybody in terms of developing their program for them individually, one-to-one, and in a group setting as well. And I'm sure the people who are on this video as well, you know, they've got some excellent opportunities to develop young cricketers.
Yeah, and this, you know, that this online platform I have created just to, I think, help the new generation, just give the information out. All right. So there are a lot of people know about things, but that if you talk through the social media, and they get the faster information, and they start seeing and believing, that if they see physically somebody is talking who is really involved there, and I think that would be really beneficial. And I am sure that I'll be in touch with you to do a special program with Dubai City and the Your Academy and activities and how people can get involved and how people can get benefited from there. Now coming back to that tours, that there are international tour was planned. It was number of you planning to come, your teams. And Ashish, if you can talk through the challenges that have with the people they are looking for, and of course there is no cricket at the moment, but how it's impacted the young people. Of course, they are not playing in the cricket, and there's aspiration that they'll be playing some international cricket, though it's under 13. But they are thinking of there'll be people coming from America, from Singapore, from Dubai, from Netherlands, and coming and playing, and that is a different experience. So just talk through about what you are hearing from the children and the parents.
Yeah, it's exactly as you mentioned that we had around 15 fixtures planned for this summer with just touring teams, international touring teams coming from, as you mentioned, obviously Singapore, Netherlands, UAE, California. I think the three different academies in India they were that we signed up for, as we've got with MCC Lords under 13s. We had a game schedule as well as a few counties. So obviously all of that has actually unfortunately got washed, and this is on top of the current commitments what they have with the club districts and the counties. And in terms of planning, one of the things which we obviously have to work in CricFitSport is to actually we act as a complement. So we try to avoid any schedule conflicts for what they for the players who currently have the commitments towards representative cricket. So if they've got a game for the county, then we would try and avoid actually having a fixture on that specific day, as an example. So it's been quite a challenge. Obviously, in terms of planning, the planning itself has taken months. We had our first international tournament, which is all the representation here from the manager's point of view, which unfortunately hasn't gone ahead. And this is the way we are actually meeting virtually. But there were plans which obviously hasn't really been materialized this year. We had to kind of call it off, even though they were for end of July going into August. There's so much of planning in ahead of it that we have to actually take a call way in advance if that's going to be possible or not. And I'll leave it for my other friends to actually talk about what challenges they have to face in terms of coming over. One of the things then what we've been trying to do is once it opens, firstly keep involved virtually as much as we can, and that's through some of the drills or trying to work in partnership online. But also think about as it is, what we stand, what do we do next year, and we start keeping our chin up and start planning along with that. And the parents have been extremely supporting around that. And one of the things that we kind of evolving as a group is from development point of view of children is the international experiences what they've actually got. So Kunal and I have been talking about having something set up in the subcontinent, again trying to kind of provide an opportunity is known. So there would be some apprehensions of actually sending a child to a place where you've not been before. But if you are actually sending a child which you know very well and you're going to be in safe hands, so having a location outside of UK would be quite useful. That's something we're actually exploring on, but also give international players or young players an opportunity to actually engage into this program and make it more wider, where there could be a lot more exchange program that might actually happen in the summer of them coming over versus we going over to them, and then coach exchanges can actually happen on the back of it. So the plans are there. We just want the pandemic to go away.
Yeah, definitely. We all wish that we will be back in cricket. I'll come back to Subir in this time now. The talk through about, because you are very close to England, and probably you tour quite often, and there are some teams definitely are also visiting Netherlands. Just talk through the what you had in your plan and where it had to cancel.
For various age groups, we have different kinds of programs, especially the youngest one, the 11s and the 12s. We have a regular program for them. They go to the Minor County Cricket Festival in Ipswich, Royal Hospital School. That's our fixed program for every year. Fantastic facility there, and to play all the minor counties there, it's the best thing what the beginning cricketers on a performance level they can actually do. I do feel that touring is important, definitely as at that age group, because in the Netherlands, most of the players, definitely 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, they are multi-sports players. So they either play football, they play hockey or tennis. But for them to go on a tour like that, that's maybe the right moment to change their mind, saying like, oh, cricket is my sport, so I would really want to continue playing cricket further from this onwards. So they really gives them that extra motivation to continue playing cricket. Then following on, then we have the age group 13-14. We try to normally every year we go around the Kent area. We have a good contact there. We play around various clubs, district teams in Kent area. And furthermore, we have under 16s, 15 and 16s. Normally we have a different kind of program. We have a home program and a away program for them. Home program is we try to get in contact with our neighboring countries. So for example, the Belgians, the Germans, and probably the Swedish team, they would want to come over here. So we had planned a quadrangular series against playing against them. And on our way tour, we also similarly with Ashish, we wanted to come to UK and have this fantastic participating in a fantastic tournament what you guys had planned. So unfortunately, it's not going forward. And the last age group, what we have, the highest age group is the 17, 18, and the 19 years old. Normally, it's under 19, but due to that World Cup qualifiers, what we have every second year, we start off with the 17s, and the next year they are the under 18s. And if they do qualify the regional, they go on to the global under 19 tournament. So for them, definitely the oldest age group, it's a pity because next year we do have a regional World Cup qualifier. So for them to miss out a huge summer of outdoor cricket, it's hard on them because at that age group they need to continue playing competitive cricket as much as possible. Wouldn't be only for Netherlands, it would be similar for the Irish guys as well, the Scottish guys as well, and the Danish guys as well. So hopefully we can give them something during this winter. If we could travel around, maybe to Dubai or maybe to somewhere down southern hemisphere in the winter period, would be fantastic for them.
Yeah, brilliant. And the same thing, I think I'll be coming back to Kunal and talk through about, you had many plans, of course, your neighboring countries, like even to India, and then you travel to Australia and come to England, and you had to cancel many of them, isn't it?
Yeah, so initially we had a plan to conduct some international camp. Some renowned coach supposed to come to Singapore and conduct the camp, and we had to cancel it before even launching it. And then we had some plans for as usual, for our UK annual tour. So we had a plan for the June time. The next weekend we're supposed to travel to UK. So there was a first tour in June. We supposed to play fixtures against the international schools in UK. And then we had another tour in July, again in UK, where we supposed to participate in Harrowwood International competition. And Mr. Ashish did a lot of coordination with me, a lot of hard work on back end. And we had a lot of challenges, making up the teams. And in the end, we managed to make almost a full team for the June tour and almost half a team for the July tour. After insisting the parents and everything during this pandemic, and we were a bit optimistic, like this will go away. until it actually a full-fledged spread it to Europe side. And then unfortunately we had to call off way in advance in the month of March because of all the visa process and everything, all the paperwork involved. So we had to make a call at least 3 months in advance because of all these paperwork involved. And then even though if a situation changed later on, I don't think tours would have happened because of all these quarantine rules and everything. And we also planned some academy back in India, which we are planning now to shift it to next year actually. In partnership with CricFitSport UK, we have planned some global academy which gives opportunity to kids around the world to come and attend international camps over there, and international players visits, some sort of global academy which we were planning later part of this year, but we have to postpone it to next year. As well as we had a tour planned to Sydney as well in December, which we didn't even launch it earlier stage. We're supposed to launch it during this summer in June or July, which I don't think might happen as well. So everything I think needs to be postponed to next year or so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know we got about a couple of minutes to go. Just I'll come back to Qasim regarding. Are you still taking the booking of the tours? Like the people definitely approaching you because of the location, the weather, and etc. People are missing out cricket in England, and they are probably thinking, well, this September's cricket season will be over, and I need to go and plan and play somewhere else. Do you getting any inquiries?
Yeah, we've had lots of inquiries from around the world actually to fulfill potential leagues that might have started or haven't started, contingency plans from a lot of development boards. But we would welcome anybody who wants to turn up to Dubai and get a cricketing experience. Obviously, flying here is starting to come back to normal, in the next week or so. So we would welcome, obviously, if the pandemic is finished and things get back to normal or close to normal, then yeah, we would welcome anybody from around the world, whether it's for leagues, whether it's for matches, whether it's for training facilities, whether it's for development, one-to-ones, you name it. We could host anything within our cricketing calendar.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think as I said that I think there are you can offer so much, particularly Dubai Sports City and your academy, and I am definitely going to ring you up and arrange another thing so that people can hear more about it. I think it's very important that the things that you are doing, that the topic was the international tours and why it is so important, not only for you or for myself as well. I can give you some example. When I was involved with Bangladesh Cricket Board in junior age group level, under 12, under 13, under 15, we had, that from Dhaka to India, Kolkata and Shiliguri, that about 100 miles, about 200 miles away. And like today's superstar, like Mushfiq Rahim, Tamim Iqbal, Saqib Al Hasan, they had under 12 tour, under 13 tour, and that gives the motivation, that gives the inspiration to be in the cricket. That they thought that, yes, this is the sports I wanted to play, because the tour is give a extra motivation. It's no doubt about it. And I'm sure that you all are doing a great job. And just I'll give you about 20 seconds to each of you to say your conclusion remarks and tell something to your group and wider audience. All right, I'll start with Ashish.
Yeah, thanks, Ratan. Firstly, thank you for everybody to be actually part of this. And it's been a pleasure to actually being able to talk to everybody, given we are actually not physically seeing ourselves in July and August as we had expected. Thanks, Ratan, for actually bringing us along. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, we carry on as always from a cricket point of view. Our chin always is going to be up, and as I say, cricket always wins eventually.
Yeah, if I can bring back Subir to say your conclusion remarks.
Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me here as well. Good to see the other guys as well. We would have seen each other in July, August. Unfortunately, not this year. But hopefully to see you somewhere around next year. It would be fantastic to bring my team and play against you guys. So it would be lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Kunal, if I can bring back you and say a few words.
Thanks very much for inviting at this platform and during this pandemic and being so active, whether it's running international challenge competition online or doing this talk. Thank you very much for this. And we, as Subir said, we're supposed to meet in July. Hopefully, now we can meet next year. Just sending a message across the globe to all the kids and parents. I think once the government guidelines comes back and we are allowed to play sport, I think everyone should be back to sports following government guidelines, because there are the only two ways from here we can go ahead. Either we can just sit at home, because we don't know when the vaccination or medication come out for this virus. Either continue sitting at home, where it will lead to. It will lead to obesity, inactivity, or negativity inside the home. But if you go out and play, follow the guidelines, I think next generation will be the resilient warriors who know how to tackle the situation. They will be more mature and socially responsible at early stage, and they will become wonderful players if they cross this stage, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kunal. And I'll come back to Qasim Ali this time, and I'll make it right. Head coach, ICC Global Cricket Academy. Qasim, tell me your finishing remarks on this.
Firstly, Ratan, and to the rest of the guests, thank you for the opportunity. It's been a great platform to share knowledge, hear different views, and obviously keep the motivation and the positivity going. I think from an ICC Academy point of view, we would welcome anybody from anywhere around the world, especially the guys who are on the panel today, to come and try the facilities out. You know, we're all year round, we've got the weather, and let's try and make something happen. I think to all the parents and the participants around the world, whether you're from an academy or not, stay safe, stay positive, and definitely stay within the guidelines. And last but not least, from my point of view, I'd like to wish everybody lots of success and a successful return to cricket quite soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Viewers, what we're going to do, we're going to finish it today's program. And thanks for being with us. And we will be in touch very soon. Tomorrow, we have a program regarding Bangladesh for one of the beautiful ground called Mymensingh Circuit House ground, where there are a lot of international cricketers played cricket, and they've grown up playing cricket there. We wanted to have a campaign to save that ground, because there are some talks going on to make the boundary wall, etc., etc. So we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock Bangladesh time and 12 o'clock UK time. Until then, see you. Assalamu alaikum and goodbye.